Sunday is coming up, and we want you to attend because there is a wonderful speaker, Dr. Bill Jeffrey at the University of Guam. He's a professor of archaeology, and he is gracing us with some of his time right now. He's on the KUM couch. Doc, Hafide, welcome to Harmon.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
Oh, thank you for bringing your insight to Science Sunday, because it's a wonderful lecture series. They always have a bunch of different perspectives, insights, expertise, and everything. So as an archaeologist, and Guam probably being such a, would you consider it like a rich tapestry for archaeology?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
we've done many stories having to do with archaeology.
The whole island is an archaeological site. You know, it dates back 3,500, 4,000 years maybe. And it's a lot to do with maritime archaeology too, because the first people came here on a canoe and ships. And, you know, the second wave came here in ships, and we lived around the coast. The laddie sites, you know, quarried from limestone, which is a coastal site, which is what maritime archaeology is all about.
And specifically, that is the focus of your talk at Science Sunday, right?
Maritime archaeology, yes. Yeah. So I introduced the sort of topic. I've been coming into Guam for about, I guess, nearly 20 years. On my way to Chuuk, I went and studied the shipwrecks in Chuuk. But I'd stopped, and over a period of time, I got to know people, and I started doing a few jobs here. And the last 4 years, I've become full-time at the UOG. But I've been teaching maritime archaeology. That's my love. I've been doing it for 40 years.
Very nice.
We run 5 field schools here, and the last field school we ran in 2017. So on Sunday, we'll have a couple of the students from 2017 field school come along and also contribute to the discussion, what they learnt, how they feel it's relevant to Guam. And yeah, I think it's very relevant because it's an island. You know, it's maritime archaeology all around us.
Well, Bill, I got to ask you, every time that we do a story here, like on Guam, where you hear something, you know, like in news circles, or you see it on Facebook about there was a construction site, or there was a private company putting up a new hotel, and they actually happened to run across, you know, ancient remains, or, you know, indigenous, maybe a dinosaur skeleton or something like that. As an archaeologist, I'm sure your ears perk right up, and you're like, you know, is that one of like the highlights about being an archaeologist on Guam?
Yeah, I do a fair bit of travel. I have over the years, and the best thing for me is meeting people and the different cultures I meet. And of course, the culture here is rich. It's rich in maritime heritage, and so that's really good for me, because while we study, you know, the material remains, we also bring in, you know, the cultural practices, the intangible, which is not intangible to people in Oceania. It's very tangible. It's living heritage. So we like to bring that in and make it sort of holistic. And we also like to bring in the environment, because that plays a role in the sort of longevity and also how sites look. And we can interpret from looking at a site, you know, and the environment, how the site might have looked, you know, 200,000 years ago. So, many things involved in maritime archaeology.
It's a fantastic endeavor, to be sure. So, with that being the case, when you talk to young people, and they talk about getting into the sciences, you know, some people want to get into engineering, some people want to get into medicine and everything. Like, what words would you give them as far as inspiring for, you know, what archaeology has been able to provide you with as a career, and, you know, why they might want to consider it as a life's work?
Well, travel. Also, it's very rich, like I said, in meeting new people, and the cultural diversity you come across is what I really love about it. So it's meeting people. I've worked in Yap and in Chuuk, and it's, you know, they're all wonderful people. They're rich in sort of heritage, rich in cultural traditions, and so you have that humanities aspect to it, but you also have the science. So archaeology in other parts of the world is seen to be a science. In the US, it's part of anthropology, part of the social sciences, but it has, you know, wonderful techniques that you can use to map sites. And one of the things today, just going ballistic almost, is being able to take photographs underwater, just taking multiple photographs and putting them into programs, and coming up with life size or almost living models of sites. So, you know, in a very simple technique, and this would have been out of question not only, you know, 50 years ago, but 10 years ago. This was, you know, something that was nowhere near as easy as it is now, just the technology. And so that's the variety you can get with doing the archaeology part of.
Yeah, you archaeologists have like access to all sorts of amazing toys. And
Well, it would be great to have, but you know, it costs money, so we beg and borrow, and we get people that come who have expertise in this field. When we had the field school in Guam a couple of years ago, we had about 5 different people come and teach. One of them was a Japanese guy, Koro Yamafumi, who was a really world-class in photogrammetry, that we call it. And he came and taught, and we're running a field school in Chuuk in June, and he's coming along again. So if we don't have access to it, as long as we can get a small bit of money to bring these people, the experts in. So, and that's one of the things about archaeology. As an archaeologist, I can't know, you know, everything. I don't know about, you know, I know a little bit about a lot of things, but I don't know, you know, in depth about many things.
well,
So-
you're very, very humble, as is a trait that I've known with every archaeologist I've been able to interview over the years. So, now talking about the Science Sunday presentation, who would your target audience be? Because obviously you can speak on a number of topics about maritime archaeology, but like you're probably going to get like some students, fellow scientists, people like in the social sciences and everything. Like, what's the best audience for your talk?
The community, the general community is the
Okay.
best. For a range of different things, you know, more and more now archaeology is not just doing things for other archaeologists that write up journal articles and get other archaeologists to read them. You know, you might get a dozen or 20 or 50. We want hundreds or thousands of people to read and to look at websites and so on. So we want to do things that will be interesting to the community. And there's a couple of good reasons for that. The community are seen to be the best managers. You know, they're out there. You know, they're not, you know, in an office, but they're out there
Boots
doing
on the ground.
things. Yeah. So it's really good for sites. You know, it's really good for looking after sites and for coming up with new sites.
All
You
right.
know,
Well, like they say, science marches on, and that is progress. So.
Yeah.
All right. So, Doc, we've got the information about when your talk is going to be at Science Sunday. You can find that on our YouTube channel right now. So, thank you very
Great.
much.
Thank you.
Yeah, and good luck with your talk.
Thanks very much.
We look very, very much to seeing and covering it for you.
Yeah, great.
All right. Please
Appreciate
stay
it.
tuned. We're back after this.